Hey guys, Chris here from Parabolic Signals. Market update Friday, August 6th. I left this update alone because there was this big confluence in the market here. And I want to show you what's going on, what my fears and concerns are in order to take some profit. And right now, of course, I was saying at this kind of bullish divergence that happened in and around this area, I drew up this indicator. You can ignore this now because it's obviously totally invalidated. Now, if you look at my drawing here, I was showing a pullback in the market. I just gotta open up the, sorry. See if we can see it better on the 1 day. Maybe not. Okay. This blue line that you guys see here is a very, very important blue line. Okay? And that's because it's just for technical reasons. I don't want to explain it why, but it's very important. And when now, as you guys know, I was telling you from here that there was potentially a breakout and that we're gonna move up. I was saying that at around here. I don't know how many people in the Discord caught that, but every time you guys watch a future video, okay, I want you guys to make sure that when the notification comes out on a Monday, I'm just making it for Friday because I did not want to confuse you guys about this pullback here, okay? Because I'll tell you right now, what happened here, there is probably 1,000 different reasons why this does not make any sense. Okay, and I'm not gonna give you guys the reasons why. This market should have literally just rolled over and went down. And I'm gonna show you guys what my future concerns are about this move and what you should be watching for moving forward. And I'm gonna update you guys in the weekly swings and so that you guys are not kind of like caught off guard because you think that my overall analysis is wrong about this drop. So, if I look at this entire move, this little confluence here, I went live on Facebook and I was saying to some of the people that were on the live, some of you in the Discord did not catch this, but I said something is extremely wrong here. And I was saying it as it was dropping because it did not line up with my projections. And sure enough, I drew up this scenario where there was like this bullish confluence, and sure enough, it broke out. And after that breakout, there was this sudden drop here, right down to this, you can see the red line here, and then a vertical move up. This entire move that happened here was 100%, again, a totally manipulated move. And somebody in the books there was like, you know what? Forget about this downwards action right now. Let's just move the markets up. And that's exactly what they did. And I'm going to tell you, and this is all you have to watch, you guys, okay? Because believe it or not, whether you believe me, what I'm telling you, or whatever, it's fine. But I'm still calling for, well, let me just put it, let me just show it to you this way. If this market suddenly wants to break out to 46,000, which is my call, we're good to go. Okay, because what it'll do I keep getting these things mixed up. What it'll do is it'll do something like this. It'll break out to 46,000. And then what it'll do is that you will see this. I don't want to draw it up exactly, but there needs to be a bounce here. Okay? Another bounce here, and then it'll move up higher. Now, when you guys see me do these drawings, of course, they do not follow 100% what the market's going to do. And I'm going to tell you at this point, it doesn't really matter if there is an overall drop that lasts all the way to October. It doesn't matter, you guys. Because the prices that you're going to get are not going to be what you think anyways. And I'm going to update you guys with that. But here's my fear. And I'm gonna show it to you. If for whatever reason we just don't break out to 46,000 and we do something like this and we start to settle here like this, I'm telling you guys right now, there will be a drop in Bitcoin. Some of you guys are gonna be like, well, Chris, you know, you did that over here, it didn't really happen because you were showing this line dropping down. This line that happened here, this cycle, and this cycle that you see right here could last all the way to October. Now, some of you guys are going to be confused. You're saying, Chris, you're bullish, you're bullish. I am at this point. And the reason I'm bullish, you guys, I'm telling you, even if this scenario plays out and there's a drop, the market will recover. And that's not going to be the end of the world if Bitcoin suddenly wants to do that. Okay? Because the market will recover. It'll just be a longer time span. What I'm worried about is this move that I'm showing you here should have happened right here. And as soon as this little thing happened here, I was like, this cannot be real. Because this entire scenario wouldn't have played out like that. It would have went down, up, and then down. That's what it would have done. Instead, they put it into a situation where they want to now ride these markets up. And you guys will still see swings in the market. It just means that the swings will be much higher. So when we get to say 46, there is another resistance line there. Pull back, a bounce off this red line with a final move up. Okay, that'll bring us to the 58,000. It'll do it in swings like this. It'll just keep bouncing off this red line. With a final move. And we're gonna watch very closely. Me and you guys are gonna watch very closely if it starts to coil here like this. If it starts to coil here, you guys better watch out. Because this drop will not just take it back down to 43,000. It'll take it much, much, much lower. Because this, if I do the bigger calculations on 3 being the bottom here, 4, and then 5 will be lower than 3. Just so you guys know. Okay? So, just watch for this move. If we start to consolidate here, like this, in the market, I'm going to tell you guys one more time, if we start to do this and this line breaks and breaks both the red line and this blue line, we're going to drop. This becomes invalidated at this point. This whole support that they created at this level will be totally invalidated. So this will act as support. We should actually be jumping up here to 46,000, coil down, and then it'll coil down like this, but it won't be a drop. There will be a bounce up, and it'll just keep moving up, up until about September. If I look at, well, let me just see here. Let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah. And this cycle, if you look at this date, this cycle date brings us to why am I not seeing the dates below here? It's weird. The 4 hour. Yeah, so this cycle date brings us to roughly September 10th. And because they're dragging out the markets, you guys, this could easily land in between September 10th and September 16th. Okay? So it's funny that I chart these things for you guys, and you guys are saying, well, you guys, you know, like, Chris, you didn't time it properly and that we moved up. And for me to see this kind of movement here is actually it's abnormal, and that's why I don't like it. It's abnormal because it's, again, manipulated, but I'm trying to save you guys so that you guys can make some bank. This number here is obviously 42,000, within 42,000 and 43. It has to convincingly break here to the upside, and you can see it's sitting at around 43,200. It just wants to sit if it sits and coils here for the next few days, or there's a sudden drop down to 40,000 and it breaks 40,000, I'm gonna tell you guys to sell your coins. Okay, it has to break up here, come back down to this 42,000 level and break up. That's the only way that this is gonna play out if we're totally bullish. But if you guys start to see this movement here and it breaks these two lines at this cycle time, we're gonna draw in this cycle time. Between now and August, fuck, that was my original date. August. Oops. That's incredible that this worked out like that. August, it was almost August 10th. There you go, August 10th. Okay, so that's the cycle date. It needs to convincingly break up, and then, but I'm telling you guys, the reason why I'm telling you guys this is just because I want you guys to make profit. I cannot tell at this point, unless there's a massive breakout to 46,000 and then a bounce off 42, I cannot tell you exactly. For now, it looks extremely bullish that we're gonna go up to 46, we're gonna pull down to 42, and then we're gonna move up. But I'm telling you, if you guys see another formation like this and it just wants to hover in around this area, I'm gonna tell you to sell your coins, because they won't do this move again. I'll tell you that right now. This was just a simple delay in this inevitable move. To me, it's inevitable. And the only thing that invalidates this kind of move is really because it wants to do it up here. That's it. Okay? So what I'm worried about is that they just playing here in this sense where if I look at this drop, all it means is that this drop has just been moved up. It like this, up to the 46,000 level, at which point yeah, that works out better. At which point this here, what you see at the bottom, now becomes support. And you guys, I can see the sudden changes in the marketplace. I don't, like I said, you guys are gonna have to watch out. I'm gonna, in my emergency videos, you're gonna see that this, and don't be confused by these lines, you guys. I have to draw them up. As a TA guy, I don't have a choice. Okay? So, this situation here that was supposed to happen right here and create this another drop for a final move up, to create this zigzag, you know, these market pumps, was gonna happen down here and drag out the market all the way to October. But that never happened. They moved this cycle up much faster, in which case there was resistance. People got really scared and they started to sell off. But the bulls were seeing this and they were like, no, we're just gonna drag it out a little longer. And that's what they're gonna do. You're gonna see a bump up here to about 46,000. Well, you should, unless it coils. And then the pullback won't be as bad. It'll bring it down to about 35,000 with then a final move up. And then this will happen. This will start to happen, where this now becomes support. And then the cycle is then complete. Okay, this entire, if you look at this box here, this cycle will then have been completed. You've got your drop, move up, with a final resting situation in and around 58 to 60,000, somewhere around there. Okay? And I'm going to be watching this with you guys very closely, because this drop here is going to be one for the ages. And it's because of my longer term swings that I'm worried about. Okay? There is also one other scenario that could potentially play out, and I'm going to warn you guys about that. That this market, and if you look at an Elliott wave perspective, Bitcoin doesn't really move in Elliott wave. It creates this kind of jagged crocodile, because we're not in a full bull run. So you're never gonna see Bitcoin do this, for example. You're never gonna see Bitcoin go bounce here and then a sudden move up like this on top of this cycle. It just won't do that. There's not enough confluence in the market to create $120,000 Bitcoin. This is not, obviously not out of the equation, this move, because then this would be 5. This would be 4, in which case we follow this trend up in order to reach 5. Bitcoin at around 42,000 would have to suddenly spike to 58,000. It would have to suddenly do that. Like within the next week here, it would have to go all the way up past 58,000, and then you guys can be extremely bullish, because then at that point it's going to reach 120,000 for sure. Okay? But this is still not the third leg. There will still be, again, another big pullback. But if this scenario plays out, and I'm not saying it's going to, don't look for it, okay? If this scenario suddenly plays out, we're going to be in a massive bull run anyways, so don't worry about it. I'm saying for now, I was telling you, everybody, please buy this bottom. Everything is bottoming out, and we're going to start to move kind of like in a jig-jag. It's going to, like, if it settles along this line, what'll happen is at 46K, we need to watch for this move up. It's not going to be this ridiculous strong rocket ship to the sky move. It'll be, come on. It'll be more like this. This situation is not valid. That's not going to work out like that. I can almost 100% guarantee you that. It'll do this. It'll follow this red line. It'll channel itself up and coil here. Okay? If they keep running the market up, it'll just coil here, and this is the drop that I'm worried about, and it won't just bounce off 42. I do not see that happening because there's not enough time. There's not enough time in this cycle for it to suddenly move to 100,000. There's not enough time here, and I'm not going to explain the timing, but basically there's just not enough time. So my worry is that if it suddenly doesn't just pop, okay, and it starts to coil here like this, I'm going to be telling you guys, exit the market. If you guys want to wait out this dip, just wait it out. It's not the end of the world. We're still gonna bounce up, and we're still gonna move to the $58,000 range. Okay, so don't worry about this dip. If it comes up to 46 and there's a pullback here, don't worry about it. This now will be. This is not really like that. I'd have to redraw it. It'll look something like this. What am I doing here? My brush always disappears, and I'm not sure why that happens. That is like the weirdest thing for me. There. Okay. So what'll happen is that if it starts to coil here and there's not a sudden break, it'll still come down to 42,000 with a move up, okay? But if this starts to coil here and it wants to break this red line and this blue line, these are very, very important support and resistance line, is now acting as support. But if it wants to just coil here, again, we're gonna come down. Now, if we bump up to 46, which I do see coming, it just means that Bitcoin will do this. It'll come up, and if there is a drop, it'll squeeze through both those lines there, and it'll do something like this. This move will still play out. There will be a pullback. You just wait. You just wait for this to happen. You don't panic. This is not a death drop. This situation is more of a death drop. Okay? It's not really a death drop. It just means that it's going to bring Bitcoin right back down off of this orange line. That's what it's going to do. There's going to be a bounce here, and then it's gonna slowly move up the market. So don't be confused, you guys. Just all I'm trying to tell you guys is just hold your coins, because this was 100% a manipulation move here. This King's Crown should have formed right here, and there should have been a breakdown. So they manipulated it to just bring it a little bit higher. This is probably just a short squeeze. They'll bring it up to 46,000, in which case there needs to be a bounce. If there's not a bounce, just wait out this drop. The drop is still going to happen, you guys. This never just goes up like this. It's not enough time in this cycle for it to move up like that. That would bring it to August 25th. There's no way by August 25th you're going to see 58,000 Bitcoin. They can. I'm not saying that they can't do it. I'm just saying, if you're in a position because you bought this low when I was telling you to buy, just sit on it. Don't worry about this next pullback. But if it does coil here, I will tell you guys to sell off. If it wants to do this type of move one more time, this coiling effect, this King's Crown effect, if it wants to do this right now, here, I'm going to ask you guys to sell your positions, because I believe it won't bounce off 36,000 anymore. I believe it'll come right down. Because that's how they make their money, is in this move. They don't make their money in this move, you guys. This move here is not a big deal to them. I don't even know why they would bring it down that far. So if it hits 46, there should be a bounce off 42, and then a complete move up. Okay? So I hope that didn't confuse you guys. Basically, all you're doing is holding your coins at this point. I'm gonna make a separate video about how to trade upwards with a stop loss. Okay? Don't let these lines confuse you. Okay? I will come back to you if I see some disturbance in this area. I will come back to you guys and I'll say, listen, they just delayed this. They delayed this move by a few more days. They like doing that. Look at this. Look at this move down here. They sped it up. They sped up this move. It should have just coiled down, but they sped up this move and moved the markets up. Okay, so just watch for this in the next couple of days. Again, you guys will always have an opportunity, even if this drop is not as deadly and it starts to coil here, because I was showing you guys about these types of moves, right? This is like an inverted head king's crown. If you look at it from a much wider perspective, it's just an inverted king's crown, in which case and I was saying in about here, guys, we're gonna break out of this. You see this orange line here? We broke out of it, created a bull flag, and sure enough, they shot the markets up. And I should have been telling you guys at this point, we're just gonna trade the market up with a stop loss, you guys. We're trading with stop losses, and I'm gonna make that separate video because you guys are getting confused. All I'm looking for myself is that if Bitcoin is gonna reach these certain targets. Okay, so say I'm here at the top of my King's Crown at around 40,500. Okay, 40,500, right about there. There's my stop loss. So I'm waiting for the market to go up, bounce and up. I'm not even gonna get out of my next long position once I see that if it doesn't suddenly break out here, okay, and it moves up to this point. Okay, because this is a important time point where they stop this market. It's about right about there. Come on. Right about there. Okay, they're gonna stop the market in this area. Okay, because it needs to follow this channel. Come on, you fucking stupid thing. Okay, so that's basically what I'm looking for. I don't want any of this coiling action happening, and neither do you guys. We need to see a strong break to the upside. Okay, like this, and then down, back down to 42,000. We can then be bullish as hell because it'll start to do this. Okay, just hold your coins, guys. Trade with a stop loss, and I'll show you guys what the stop losses look like in the next video. So that's just the market update for now. She looks like she wants to break out, guys. Okay, so I am bullish at this point. Expect there to be some type of pullback from 46. Okay. Don't worry about that. This blue line, me and you guys are gonna watch this blue line very carefully. It's a very important line, you guys, okay? So, and then if we break down, I'm gonna tell you guys, okay, sell your coins, we're gonna wait for another bottom. It doesn't matter if it's 35,000, doesn't matter if it's 28,000, you guys are not gonna lose copious amounts of money in this move, okay? But it's just nice that when you have cash at 46,000, that it doesn't create support, it does another coil and breaks down, that you can ladder out of your positions and then buy the bottom, because the bottom is in this area. This line keeps continuing down. This line will keep on going and going and going during this entire phase, this entire 60 to 90 day cycle. So what'll happen is that you're gonna see let's say there is that drop. If I look at the time cycle, it brings Bitcoin down to 25,000. Okay? I don't want you guys to be confused by that. This line is still very significant. It's a very, very significant line. And some of you guys are going to ask, well, Chris, what do I do? Chris, what do I do? Just watch for these movements. Okay? And I'll warn you about that. I'll between now, which is August 7th to August 12th, if I'm right that there is a drop in Bitcoin, it'll start to do this, but just at a later time frame. That's all. It should have happened here because I was saying between July 25th and August 10th, there would be a drop in Bitcoin. It never happened. These fuckers, they let it coil down to a certain point and they allowed the market to go back up. They're tricky bastards, these guys. I'm telling you, this little green candle here should have happened right in about here. It should have went up like this. This is the left side of the king's crown, top of the king's crown, and it should have just dropped, in which case the cycle would have been completed by August 10th at 27,000 Bitcoin. All this means is that they're just, if the coils here, it's just they're delaying it, which brings Bitcoin lower. It brings it down to 25,000. Okay, because this line will never go away. Not in the analysis. That's not how it, and I can't explain to you guys why this keeps going on like that. It would just confuse you guys. So just watch for that. I'll be watching for this entire move with you guys. Overall, I'm bullish right now because it is creating support. Okay, so this should act as support, and then we should see our final moves up. Okay, take care, you guys. If you have any questions, just reach out to me.